It's time for your daily dose of all things Chicago sports. This is the Daily Score. Now, here's your host, Mark Grote.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Daily Score. I'm Mark Grote. We are inching closer to the Bears and the Packers, and do I have some audio for you that I think will be music to your ears if you are a Bears fan, or maybe it will make you nervous because the voice that you are about to hear will be that of Justin Jones talking about the Bears and Packers rivalry. I will just tell you that I posted the quote that you're about to hear on Twitter, and while it was applauded, there's a lot of people who are like, okay, you're talking pretty big there, Justin Jones. So without further ado, let's hear from the Bears' three technique, Justin Jones.
Listen, obviously, Green Bay, you want to beat them as many times as you can just for the sake of the city. You know what I'm saying? For the city of Chicago, Illinois in general, this rivalry here has been going on for a long time, and we're about to be on the other side of that now. We're going to be being the ones that give the beat down. We're not getting beat by them anymore. It's going to be us from now on. So that's kind of how I see it. And like I said, it starts Sunday.
Why are you so sure that Chicago will now be the team putting the beat down on, as you said, in this rivalry?
Just, the way I don't know what it's been like in previous years. I know I was here last year, and I know what it is this year, and I know the work that we put in this offseason. There's no other team in the league that's worked harder than us this offseason. There's no other team in the league that's put in the hours, and the extra field work that guys, are on this team are putting in. Nobody's watching film like this team is putting in. Like, nobody's doing it the way we're doing it here. So our confidence is through the roof, and, that's how I feel.
Oh, yeah. Justin Jones, man. He gets the rivalry, but I think more of this is he in the first Green Bay game at Lambeau, he was just insulted by their fans, quite frankly, because they were hurling all sorts of weird stuff his way and just being cheeseheads. He was indoctrinated in to the Bears-Packers rivalry, and he was just like, "What's up with these folks?" So this is not the first time he's mouthed off about Green Bay. But I like the message, and I like the idea, and I think that if you're a Bears fan, you probably like that idea too, that it's time to put the beat down on the other side. You like the way I repeated that, Ray, when I asked the question? I was like, you just talked about that beatdown right there. And I enjoy Justin Jones. I really do. I'm not going to lie to you. I root for that guy to be really good. And that's not something I needed to keep secret anyway, because I think you want your three technique to be really good as well. I love Justin Jones. Let's move on to the next guy. The next guy is very interesting as well. He's Lucas Patrick. He is going to be the starting center for the Bears on Sunday against the Packers. And so far, Lucas Patrick has done nothing in a Bears uniform after signing a 3-year deal with the team and having a big press conference. And, everything looked like he was kind of going to be one of the foundations of the rebuild. And he was kind of a big nothing last year. And a lot of it had to do with injuries. So that said, here's what Lucas Patrick is saying about what he wants to prove on Sunday.
Kind of going back, showcase this organization. Hey, I can do what you brought me in to do, and again, going back to it, not to keep sounding a point, but gratitude. They changed my family's life. I just had a daughter recently, and her experience in this world would be significantly better because of the Chicago Bears. So it's beyond playing football for me. I feel like I owe them something greater than just play.
I don't have a whole lot to say about that, because what a perfect thing to say. And I have a feeling, just from studying his body language and the way he was talking today, I think he's being truthful about that. And to some degree, it is refreshing to hear something like that, because I don't know that every single athlete in every single sport really gives a damn. Once they get their money, they don't feel a sense of, I owe you. There's a lot of entitlement out there. So, but what I will say is Lucas Patrick still needs to be damn good, and I quite frankly am a little bit nervous about him because, like I said, even when he was healthy, he wasn't particularly good. But a thumbs up to Lucas Patrick for what he said there. Root for him as well. Let's get to the Bears cornerbacks and going up against Jordan Love and some young wide receivers, obviously, on the Green Bay Packers, who we'll talk about. But let's start with Tyrique Stevenson, the rookie who has been really good in the preseason overall. He's made some mistakes. There's been some pretty loud penalties as well. Dropped a couple of would-be interceptions, but that's fine. He's been really good in terms of just, covering receivers in camp and in the 2 preseason games as well. But one thing that we know that is obvious is that unless you are Deion Sanders coming into the NFL, you are not going to get the benefit of the doubt from referees, and teams are going to pick on you. And Tyrique Stevenson acknowledged all of that.
I definitely expect everybody to, test my knowledge of the game. And, just because I'm out there and I'm a rookie. So just going into this game and every game of the season, I know I'm going to get tested. And, my mindset going out there, just go out there and be the best version of Tyrique Stevenson. Opponent or anybody doesn't, faze me pretty much. I know what the guys here, what we've been working towards, and I know what these coaches and everybody seeing me. So go out there and put that on display for the world.
Did you also learn from the referees that you're going to have to – the rookies don't get breaks?
Yeah, I figured that out. Figured out the Bills game, and just coming back to the sideline and hear the coaches just coaching me up and basically tell me pretty much that, just tell me that, you're a rookie, so they're pretty much looking for everything that you do, so just make sure that you go out there and play the cleanest game as possible.
Yeah, so at least the message is getting to him. We'll see if in the heat of the moment how he responds or reacts, because that's really the key. I mean, the kid plays with a lot of emotion, and as you can hear him right there, he's pretty composed when he's in front of the microphone. So he's talking a good game on that, but we'll see when the lights go on and the pressure is real and there is a team game planning for specifically at times, I'm sure, Tyrique Stevenson. And it's a pretty good young receiver core, of which I don't know who all is going to play because Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs have been banged up a little bit. They've got a rookie named Jaden Reed as well. So, and there's been nothing but good reports coming out of him. Tight ends always kill the Bears for some reason. So look out for Luke Musgrave as well. But let's get on to the veteran now cornerback and ace of this cornerback staff for the Bears. And that's Jaylon Johnson, who, if Christian Watson does play, I would expect that you will see some good stuff in that matchup. But he was asked, Jaylon Johnson, specifically about Jordan Love, and he ended up just kind of generalizing it, interestingly, I might add, towards the head coach of the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Matt LaFleur is still who he is. He still has his way of doing things, and I feel like sometimes you study more than just the player. You study the play caller, and all of that's still the same. So, I mean, they're going to stick to their identity. It is what it is, and then I feel like they'll have some change-ups in there considering their personnel. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you can only study what they've done in the past and then just adjust to what they're going to do this year.
What is their identity?
I know they like to run the ball. Everything kind of starts with that run game with the two-headed monster they have, and then they like explosive plays after that, and then some screen passes to their wideouts. They can take some deep shots as well. I mean, they're kind of all over the place. They like to dress things up with motions and different things like that. So, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, but they like to kind of dress things up and still get to what they need to get to.
Really good stuff right there. I mean, you talk about a player who gets a little bit more and sounds a little bit more mature every season. Not that he was ever immature, but I mean, that is like, it kind of is like, wow, he did just describe what Matt LaFleur and the Packers, again, albeit under Aaron Rodgers, what they do. I mean, talk about the screen game. It's like, oh man, how many times have we seen the Bears through the decades, quite frankly, get beat up by the Packers screen game? Last guy that we are going to hear from on this podcast is the Bears defensive coordinator. And it's about 2 minutes of Alan Williams, and probably about as interesting for him and some of the stuff that he was talking about. And again, he also was asked, how do you approach Jordan Love? If you're a defensive coordinator and this guy has not really played much at all at the NFL level, like, I would think it'd be kind of stressful, actually, when you're trying to game plan. And and by the way, you've had months to game plan, it's got to be frustrating for a guy that there's little on right now. So, Alan Williams, Bears defensive coordinator, how do you approach this?
What we're trying not to do is hunt up too many ghosts and say, we think he's going to do this. We think this is going to happen. We think these things. What we have to focus on is what Green Bay has done up until this point, and then see what their tendencies are, see what they've done, and then just, look at Love in the preseason and see what he does well. The things that he does well, he gets the ball out of his hands. He throws a phenomenal deep ball. Outside, he has great touch. It seems like he makes good decisions, fast processor. So we're just trying to look at what they've done in the past, what they've done in the preseason, and then just go from there. And at the end of the day, it's still more about us than it is about who they have at receiver, who they have at running back, who's playing on the D-line. It's still about the Chicago Bears.
Is it difficult, though, because of all the advanced scouting that goes on, they trying to get an edge on a team, the secrecy that exists, to not have as much information on a quarterback?
Yeah. No. No. Sometimes we make this game a little bit more difficult than it should be. It's still about winning your one-on-one matchups. It's still about they have one football. They don't have three. So we have to find the football. We know where it is. It's still about tackling, lining up, reading your keys, getting to the ball. And all the other things, those are distractions. That's window dressing. All the other things that come into effect, and all the other things about, hey, the stats say this and the analytics say this and whatever. I've never heard of a game that was won through analytics. Now, with the technology and all the things that we have and all the information that we have, sometimes they make guys play slower, not faster.
It's interesting. It's interesting on a lot of different levels. And I will just say, I don't know how much they depend on analytics. It's there for sure. And it is something to which they subscribe and all of that. But what I do know is that in this 4-3 Bears defense, one of the things that they were selling us on last year when we would ask questions when the new regime comes in and they switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3, some existing players there, such as Eddie Jackson. And they said, this is a much simpler defense, that it is, read and react. And the players echoed the same thing. So I don't think that they ignore analytics or anything like that. I don't think that that's what Alan Williams was trying to put out there. But I do think he was just trying to make the point that football is football, and more so on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball. So we're close. We're getting close to Bears and Packers, and I appreciate you guys listening. For our executive producer, Ray Diaz, I am Mark Grote. Thanks for listening to or watching The Daily Score.